This is a cut video where they try and guess each other's IQ, and this girl judges this guy for having a low IQ.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. It has nothing to do with your background. I don't think you really have the highest EQ out of all of us. Not taking in other people's point of views and compiling results, but really just came down to his body language, his demeanor, the way he carried himself, the way he acted towards the group. Me, I don't know. PhD, cancer biology scientist. I work in a biotech company. We make 19 testing kit.
Number 3 will be Tyler, and number 4 would be Shada. Number 5 is Sean, and number 6 is Mike.
Reminds me of this famous quote, "Never confuse education with intelligence. You can have a PhD and still be an idiot."
Hello YouTube, my name is The Neurodivergent. This is Meditation on Media. And today I wanted to talk to you about this video because I do not find it convincing. I don't necessarily disagree that the woman was arrogant or that she was judgmental, but I think the video is more complicated than that, and I think the underlying messages it has are a little bit wobbly. So I wanted to explore that and explore the nature of IQ, and I hope you enjoy. Before I start my video, I actually want to direct you to Sean's video, and more specifically his video on the bell curve, which is about intelligence, which I will put in the description, as I think it is a more robust examination of the flaws of IQ test. And I will be both referencing it directly and indirectly, just from points I've picked up. And I think you should go watch it. It's a great view, and it's very well put together. So the first thing I wanted to get into, well, my argument doesn't hitch on this entirely, but I don't necessarily believe in the validity of IQ tests for testing intelligence. There's a lot of gaps and assumptions that have to be made that Sean talks about in his bell curve video. But just to boil it down, some of those assumptions would be, number one, that a generalized test could test for everybody's general intelligence, and that everybody's intelligence can be boiled down to a factor or a number, where I'd be more inclined to believe that intelligence is multifaceted. For example, many autistic people would have special talents and gifts with their intelligence when it comes to their special interests, but they would also have probably test for low intelligence on things like social situations, or they would test poorly for it for whatever reason. And this sort of hints to me that intelligence can be multifaceted, and where some people can be strong at other things, people can lack in other areas. And I'd compare this problem to sports, say. Like, if you have a very fast track star, that doesn't necessarily compute to somebody who's strong in a different sense, like football, or somebody who's strong with hand-eye coordination or any other task. And we don't necessarily boil their talents down to a strength quota. And I think a lot of people, a lot of sports fans would even find that ridiculous. And I find it just as ridiculous to do that with IQ. But let's say anyway that you do believe in IQ tests.
Reminds me of this famous quote, "Never confuse education with intelligence. You can have a PhD and still be an idiot."
I feel like from what I saw in the comments and other people I have asked that this would be many people's first impression and takeaway from the video, but I don't necessarily agree with it at all, actually. What I take issue with is this idea that, okay, so she uses her education to try and prop herself up as an intellectual and try to downplay somebody else as somebody with low IQ. And when she's torn down by the end of the video and put in last place, people come out with this maybe thinking, oh, so you can't really judge intelligence by education, and this is proof of why. But then I'd ask you, what's the proof here exactly? If you buy into intelligence tests, my point is that seems to be based on education. If you look on intelligence tests, what they are testing for is math questions. They are testing English and other various educational topics. So if you were to buy into the IQ, I don't see why you wouldn't also buy into the fact that education can be linked to intelligence. And if you were to buy that, then, and if you weren't, then you come across a different issue, which is, what is IQ to begin with? And then I think you'd be where I am, where I don't necessarily agree with intelligence at all. But I don't think people are taking that message away from the video when they use her low IQ as proof of their own argument that education is not intelligence. The other thing I don't like about this video is it sort of shifts the validity of IQ tests from the tests themselves to the people here giving them. Like, people are angry because this woman seems arrogant and cocky to be ranking people, but she's playing the game she was asked to play. Would it really be that much better if she just ranked people by intelligence and gave, say, no reason? Do you think there's a polite way to try and rank people's intelligence? I don't necessarily buy that. I think that she would get judged really no matter what she said because she's ranking people by intelligence. That to me is more so the problem than any sort of attitude she took with it to try and prop herself up or put other people down. Let's assume for a moment that intelligence testing is accurate, that it can actually measure your intelligence. Well, then let me tell you a story. So I was tested for IQ as everyone was as a child, and I scored an 82, which is below the average of 100. And despite this, I managed to fail 2 classes my senior year of high school, risk not graduating, and then go on to college twice and graduate with honors both times. So I want to tell you, if you believe intelligence tests are accurate and they can measure intelligence, what did they give me? What did they give other people in my situation who succeeded in spite of these numbers? Thanks for watching my video and making it all the way through. I understand the audio quality or the general technical quality of the video might be annoying to people. My lack of skill or time to put into these things. I was honestly just happy to get a video out and done at all. I have pretty bad social anxiety, and it hasn't been easy for me to record videos with this lisp that I'm trying to overcome to enunciate more clearly. So it means a lot to me that you'd stick around to the video and give me a chance anyway based on my points. I do hope to hear your comments, and if you leave comments, I will do my best to respond to them in a thoughtful manner, and I'd love to hear what you think, or if you disagree with me, why.